Now, there's no doubt about it that by far the most anticipated Star Wars TV show of 2023 is indeed the Ahsoka Tano series, starring actress Rosario Dawson, and also bringing in characters like Ezra Bridger, Grand Admiral Thrawn, Sabine Wren, and a whole lot more on the table by Favreau and Filoni and what they are about to establish next year. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new universe between Favreau and Filoni is that they are really setting up a lot of the core characters to be expanded and evolved in this new way of treating Star Wars, essentially. Now, a lot of which has to do with the character of Luke Skywalker and how he's going to be established in multiple new Star Wars shows coming after The Mandalorian Season 3. Now, John and Dave have been making sure that Luke really is going to be the center of it all at some points in time to really keep the story of the Skywalkers intact, and that's what they believe needs to be around for quite a long time now. Now, with that being said, everything related to Mark Hamill, he's been a little bit more talkative recently about his overall thoughts on the future of the franchise being handled by John and Dave and where it's all going between The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, other shows on the horizon as well. That's really about to explore other avenues that we have never seen before, by the way. Not in Legends and not in canon, so they're doing some original stuff in there as well. And that brings us to what Mark Hamill recently had to say about what expectations fans can actually embrace for Luke Skywalker in the upcoming shows. Now, with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni currently working on game-changing revelations that will rattle the fandom, they are also working closely with George Lucas on how these new reveals are going to be talked about for the next several years. However, in a recent interview with actor Mark Hamill, he went on to tease and announce some pretty big things related to the return of Luke, where he stated the following to the fans. What we have been talking about, that is myself, John, and Dave, for Luke's future has been mind-blowing to me as an actor. We are all preparing to introduce Luke Skywalker in ways fans would never imagine. We are planning to go over brand new abilities for him, his love interests in life, and how it shifts his view of the way of the Jedi and the Jedi Order, and also the importance of family and how this is going to connect to new characters and old ones from what many call Star Wars Legends. ILM has been working on this brand new technology that has been extremely impressive. We are about to introduce the most realistic version of Luke Skywalker that will outperform what you saw in the Book of Boba Fett that I was involved in. Now let me just pause here quickly for a second before we get to the next big thing that Mark Hamill has to really unveil. Now, the thing about Mark Hamill here is that he is putting it out there that they are about to really introduce aspects from Luke in Star Wars Legends, showing us him finding new abilities through the ways of the Force, finding different love interests, basically exploring that side of Star Wars that a lot of fans actually cherish and grew up with in the late 90s into the early 2000s with all those books, the comics, and all of the like that really expanded the Star Wars franchise at the time before Disney took over. So a lot of that is being revived, a lot of that is being re-established under the Disney canon by John and Dave. Now, Mark Hamill also putting it out there and confirming that ILM, alright, the people behind the great icons of revolutionizing technology in Star Wars and doing all these amazing techniques, are involved in making the most realistic version of Luke in upcoming shows. So that's another thing to look forward to as well, is the fact that we will be getting a very realistic version of Skywalker in comparison to what we saw in Mando 2 and the Book of Boba. And that really makes you realize what's going on here. We talked about how ILM is going to be doing a different type of tech that is going to be far different than de-aging and deepfake technology. It's something completely different that we are currently unaware of that is about to evolve and transform the film industry. So hats off to ILM for doing something this big and substantial. Now on to the next thing that's really exciting, that I think a lot of fans have been waiting for a very long time now, is, well, of course, he goes on to say, the up-and-coming Lightsaber Duels that we have planned. All I can say is wild. It's just wild. Something that I wish Disney gave me the chance to do right in the beginning. So if you love and enjoy lightsaber fights, what I can say is that you are going to be thrilled with what we are about to show to everyone in the very near future. John and Dave have been doing by far the most incredible stuff I have seen in years for Star Wars. It's absolutely mesmerizing. I am so eager for fans to see this, just so, of course, sit tight and be patient, and you guys will enjoy. Now, the other thing that I do want to touch on real quick here, before I get to the next segment, of course, is Mark Hamill absolutely putting it out there that lightsaber duels will be established for Luke Skywalker in upcoming lore. This kind of goes hand in hand with what Jon Favreau said about the Ahsoka series, and it makes you wonder if it applies to that as well. Jon Favreau recently said that the lightsaber duels in the Ahsoka series is absolutely amazing, his exact words. And that really does kind of build up the hype of the franchise, because I know Star Wars, at the end of the day, it's not all just about lightsaber fights and space battles, I understand that, but at the same exact time, this is what the fans love. This is what the fans actually get excited for when it comes to just the core aspects of Star Wars. What you actually expect in the movies are now being applied to the upcoming Star Wars shows in full blast. And this, to me, I think is great. I think it's great for Star Wars fans. I think it's great for the franchise in a healthy way. And there's a lot of amazing things on the horizon. Now, given that Mark Hamill is also teasing the fact about love interest for Luke being a center of it all, as well, alludes to the leaks that we've been going over about Mara Jade being introduced in Mando 4 in multiple cameos on and off. And that is what they are actually gearing towards. They've already been in the talks and hired Karen Gillan to portray the role. We talked about this months and months ago, and it's finally moving forward. So basically you can see that they are trying to basically revive Legends Luke. And this is all rooted to what Favreau and Filoni believe in. They believe that Legends Luke is the way to go. And you know what? I agree. I absolutely do. Because after what happened with the sequels, a lot of fans were upset. A lot of fans expected a whole lot more of Luke in those movies. Not just, doing saber duels or using the Force, but just good dialogue, good mindsets for the character, and just the Luke that we knew in the original trilogy, but being evolved as a character in a positive sense, is what fans really wanted to see. So overall, like I say, there's a lot of things happening at the same exact time. There's going to be a lot of new shows that will be announced at next year's celebration, so keep your eyes open for that. But overall, guys, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.